Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. One of the best rotations in the game now finally has a 200% lead, and the one we're going to be focusing on today is the EZA Strength Ultimate Gohan. He is rainbowed, he is level 10 linked, and as I said, one of the best rotations in the game now has a 200% lead. We do have the tech one with us, but I'm not going to do a video focusing on him just yet until I get him to level 10 links. Doing 3 separate videos, one now, one with level 10 links, then eventually one rainbowed whenever that may happen, I kind of feels like it's pointless. So when I get him to level 10 links, I'll do a sole video focused on him. But he is still going to be around, so you get to see what he kind of does currently without level 10 links being 90%. And of course, they have the 200% lead because of the new Carnival exclusive tech LRSJ Goku's flat 200% powerful comeback lead. Not the best 200% category lead, but still there's some pretty good units here. We've got the Bardock for support. They don't really have a good support unit on here, but I guess the attack plus 30% is going to have to do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. Goku's also here. Of course, we'll get an EZA very soon, literally in the next few days. And I'm going to be working on his links. He also has 200% leads himself, which I'll get around to doing. But don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let's see what this rotation's got to offer. Okay, guys, so here we are. We do have the rotation set up. If we link him up with Goku, we do actually gain like an extra 3 links in Z Fighters and Shocking Speed. To be fair, Shocking Speed at level 10 only gives us about an extra key plus 2 in defense plus 5%. But with all the extra defense, we do have 219k defense, 451k attack stat. And this rotation will be possible in a few days when this guy gets his EZA. So if we get rid of those, what are we on now? We still have over 200k defense, which is very nice, especially because the Strength Ultimate Gohan does greatly raise defense on Super, but we lose a lot on attack because we lose Z Fighters, which is giving us, I think, an extra attack plus 20% right now? Yeah, 20%. Unfortunately, not many good units do have Z Fighters that can go with them. Again, at least this guy is getting an EZA, so now that it's kind of a little bit easier to get off, and he's also usable in harder content with, of course, him stacking. Fortunately, no high chance to guard for him being viable in today's game. But 451k attack stat, 219k defense, and of course, he is only going to get stronger from here on out because he also greatly raises attack on Super and stacks infinitely. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Of course, he does have attack and defense plus 158% at the start of turn as well. And don't forget, he does support all superclass allies with an extra 50% defense, which is very handy in harder content. He's starting on a 4.7 million attack stat. I'm not going to lie, that's mad. For a unit that stacks, you know, typically they don't start too high up in terms of numbers. Having almost a 5 million attack stat turn 1 when he's greatly raising attack and stacking it, not just by 30%, he is stacking his attack by 50% every single time he super attacks. And he's already starting at 4.7 mil. That's crazy. This is the type of damage that would actually be just fantastic in harder content. Like, it really would. The only thing is, while this Ultimate Gohan does have a high chance to guard, which again, really wish Namek, on his EZA, did get that rather than staying on a medium chance. Even though he does have a high chance, which is obviously a bit more reliable than a medium chance, again, it's not guaranteed, you know, and if you took him into a harder content, you know, type of stage like Cell Max or Red Zone, if this guy gets hit and you're not guarding, his defense isn't bad, don't get me wrong, because if you super attack, he's going to start with 200k defense that's going to go up to like what, probably between 400 and 500k, which isn't too bad, but considering how hard stages hit nowadays, on a super, that's just not enough, especially in Cell Max and especially in like the final phases, probably against Frieza and Cooler. However, on basics, this guy will be fine, and considering how many units you'll take with you who can't really hack supers in harder content, I would still say he's somewhat viable. Now, another thing that's great about this Gohan, and we are going to pop this transformation. Another thing that's good about Gohan is not just because he supports superclass allies with an extra 50% defense, which in harder content is very nice. Now, that's not even just a measly 20-30%. That's 50. So that means this guy, while stacking and having guard, is getting stronger defensively even quicker. Other units can defend a bit better, which is also handy. Of course, in Trusted War category allies, which mainly this guy's getting key plus 2 and attack plus 30%, the extra damage on top of how well he defends is also a lot, very helpful. But the other thing that is good about this guy is, of course, he does have a high chance, or sorry, he does launch an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack. But that is only when his guard is active. So if his guard comes off, of course, he does get the additional come off that has a high chance of becoming a super attack. And then he can greatly raise his defense twice in a turn, where you're talking like 6, 7, maybe even 800k defense currently at level 10 links while on the 200% category lead. Which, that is more around the region you want in harder content nowadays against Cellmax in red zone. So it's kind of similar to Cooler's scenario right now, or if like his additionals become supers, then Cooler's tanking amazingly, whereas he's not tanking badly if the additional supers don't come off in his passive. Obviously it's nowhere near as good. So we do have the Bardock support right now, which is attack plus 30%, so we're up to 650 already. Do we get any links with Bardock? No, we don't. So we're going to pick up some key spheres, and what we are now, the support, we're already over 1 million, but I'm not really too concerned about the support, considering he is going to be stacking the entire time we are in this video. And he's already on 5.2, again, that is with the support. And of course, we won't know he's guarding until he potentially gets hit, or he hits an additional. To be fair, that could be from the dupe system, but we've stacked again, and I said this is kind of the ideal turn of, if he gets an additional, he'll greatly raise his defense by 100% in total that turn. And on a 200% lead, I said you're talking between like 6, 7, maybe even 800k defense as like an estimate, which is pretty good. He'll probably still take a bit on a super, I'm not gonna lie, because the harder content just hits so hard, and there's only a handful of units in the game that can really tank those supers well in red zone and against Cellmax. But I don't think he would get you killed if he got the additional off, and that's not even including his guard. I think he would take a lot of damage, but I don't think he'll get you killed. And obviously on the basics, he's taking double digits. Now, of course, if his guard comes off, if that high chance the guard comes off, of course, you will guard all attacks, launch an additional attack there's a high chance of coming a super. You could potentially super attack 3 times in a turn. So if you get another additional, your defense is going from like 6 to 800k to probably over 1 million on a 200% lead. Or maybe close to. Which means this guy is tanking super attacks in the harder content very, very well. And if his guard comes off, even without the extra additional from the dupe system, or the extra additional when his guard is active, then he is tanking very, very well. Actually, no, he can't do that, because obviously he needs the guard to come off, the additional to come off. But the other route, of course, if his guard is active, and he gets 1 additional, and he has like, 400-500k defense, he's tanking incredibly well. But of course, that is RNG dependent, because you need that high chance to come off. And then, ideal scenario, dupe system active, dupe system additional happens, the passive additional happens, which means your guard is active. He super attacks 3 times, greatly raises his defense 150%. He has like 800k plus defense and guard for 4 turns. Gohan is not only stacking up his attack quicker because of the additionals by 50% each time, which means he's tanking really well. Like, he's tanking with 800k plus defense and guard, which means he will tank the hardest events in the game for next to nothing, even on supers. But he's also getting his additionals, so he stacks his attack even quicker, which means he's dealing some pretty gnarly damage. So he's already on a 982k attack stat with over 200k defense, and he super attacked, I think, what, maybe 3-4 times in total? And that's it. So yeah, this is very similar to a Cooler scenario of how well, we're up to 5.4 million already. But this does remind me of Cooler right now, of how good he can be defensively and how much damage he can do accumulatively if those medium chances to super does come off in his passive. That's kind of the same with Gohan right now, if his guard comes off. So if his guard comes off, not only is he guarding, which is exactly what you want in harder content to soak up all the damage, but then he also has a high chance of launching an additional super attack, which means he gets to greatly raise his defense again. He's even more defensively solid, literally tanking and soaking all the damage up. But then he's also going to get an additional, which helps him stack his attack even quicker to help him deal more damage in total. And think about how much damage he can do as a collective once he hits the initial super attack. You've been stacking throughout the event. You super attack again on the additional. He does even more damage in total. You're talking 5-6+ million attack stats depending on how long he's been stacking for. He's tanking everything because his guard is active, the additionals come off, and then the dupe system additional comes off. Not only does he greatly raise defense again, but he stacks again as well by 50%. And the accumulative damage ends up being in a pretty decent range. So I'm not gonna lie, at level 10 links on a 200% category lead, this Gohan is very, very good. And is definitely a unit. I mean, we're probably gonna die here, but I don't really mind. I've kind of made the point I wanted to make with this Gohan. This is definitely a unit I really want to try in Cell Max and Red Zone. Especially because he has such a good linking partner in the Tech Ultimate Gohan, who stacks like, what, 2-3 times in Red Zone, and he's good to go with his guard, while still continuously stacking his defense throughout the remainder of the event. So he is very, very good now that he has a 200% lead. I did say this, and the same applies to Tech Ultimate Gohan. When they get a 200% category lead, it's over. I mean, I don't know about being over, but he's very, very good there. And of course, if we just, you know, if Bardock didn't get us killed, but I mean, we didn't really have a support to show off. If we stacked throughout the entire event, who knows where we could have got his attack stat to, especially with the additional from his passive, potentially the additional from the dupe system. We could have got him to like 7, 8, maybe even 9 million, especially if you go at a steady pace. So yeah, this Gohan's definitely up there now that he has a 200% lead, and especially with level 10 links, and I can't wait to try the Tech Ultimate Gohan properly when I do get him finished with level 10 links and take them into harder content like Cell Max and Red Zone. But do let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. I think he's dope, and peace.